Let me start by saying thank you. I need to say thank you because the kind of emails I receive are so humbling. They're so beautiful. They're so genuine. They're so full of gratitude and appreciation. And I just want to say thank you back because it's really kind of weird doing this work. I sit here in the studio and I speak. I speak to the curtains. I speak to Blue Dog. I speak out the window to the trees. But I don't know who's hearing my words. And then out there, by the magic of technology, which I couldn't even have fathomed as a child, when I laid in my bed, bereft with my own back pain, you guys hear my words. And then I hear from you. I see the reviews on iTunes. It's amazing, guys. It's amazing. So I thank you for your thank yous. I thank you for your gratitude. I am so grateful for every ear and heart and mind that this podcast touches. And I'm here. I'm going to keep going. I am actually, the day this airs, going to be 2 days away from heading out to go to Omega to teach and to spend a week with you guys, almost a week, Sunday through Friday. And everybody who is listening that is coming to that, I can't wait to see you. It's going to be next level, and I'm looking forward to it so much. And when that is over, I am going to come back and I'm going to refocus. I've put a lot of effort into my kids this summer. I've put a lot of effort into preparing for Omega. And when that is over, I am going to refocus on better, more effective ways to get this podcast out there, to get my message out there, to get more attention from the media. I will ask you guys, because I know that thousands and thousands of people are listening to this every week. Please do write to me at thecureforchronicpain@gmail.com if you have any ideas about how to get this podcast out there. PR is really difficult because you spend a bunch of money and nothing is guaranteed. I've spent money over the years hiring people for PR, and this is not a knock on PR. I just think there's no guarantees. And, when you do everything yourself, when I produce this podcast, all the equipment, all the fees to host it, everything is just me, and I have no sponsors as of yet. It's a lot. So I need the family. I need you guys out there. If there's anybody out there that has any ideas about connections to media outlets, interviews, and my favorite, my goddess, Oprah. Oprah, come on, babe. We could do such magical things together. Anyway, I am not always good at asking for help, but I do want to say out there, just in case someone's listening that sees value in my work, I am, once Omega is over, really going to look to push to bring this message to a greater number of people in the global community. I will tell you, we are reaching the global community. When I look at the analytics for my podcast on Audio Boom, people are listening to me in Australia, New Zealand, India, Sweden, Scotland, Finland, the UK, Canada, South America. Like, there are so many different places where I see it pinging. So it is going around the world. Africa, there were a couple countries in Africa that were pinged, small amounts, but people are listening. People are getting it. And so my goal, my push after next week is really to figure out new and more creative ways, take the time that I need, use my energy in that direction. Because when I see the way you guys respond, I'm not going to sit and read them here, but if anyone's interested, hop on over to iTunes and read the reviews for this podcast. People saying it's a miracle in their life. People saying that they were bedridden and now they're living their lives again. People saying that they haven't had hope, and for the first time in years they have hope again. They're starting to see their chronic symptoms go away. I mean, I know it's true. I've lived it in my own body for 25 years. I know it's true. I've watched people go from wheelchairs to running marathons, from being on disability to being back at work full time. I know it's true. But to hear it from you guys, from your personal voices, that you know it's true because you've done it in your own body, it's just really, it's a great thing for me. It shows me that it's worthwhile for me to continue putting in the effort, because it's not easy. It's not easy doing something that that doesn't get universally lauded. A lot of people think mind body medicine is still woo woo, or it's still just people are saying that the pain is in your head, and that is not what we are saying. Anyone out there is not in their head. They're like, yeah, she's right. That's not what we're saying. We're saying that sometimes we feel things in our hearts and sometimes we feel things in our bodies. And, guys, once people start to get this, there's going to be a great wave of health that washes over this global community, and it's already starting. So I thank you for that. Just wanted to show some gratitude and ask for some help and put it out there that it takes a village, it takes a family, it takes a network of people who want to carry a message. And so anyway, here we are. So what else can I tell you? Okay, so I am trying to build my community on Instagram. And so please do jump over and follow me at njsachs at Instagram, on Instagram. And the reason I'm mentioning Instagram is I put out on my Insta story a question: what should this week's podcast be about? And I got actually a really great response. I got a lot of people writing back. And so what I chose for the topic is relapse. I'm going to try to touch on several of the other questions that were asked on Instagram. I will get to that. But the reason I decided to record the general topic of this podcast on relapse is because I think that the reason why people get discouraged in chronic pain recovery is because relapse feels like a failure. And when I say relapse, what I mean is you have a chronic symptom or a set of symptoms, and you do the work. First of all, you find out about my work or Dr. Sarno's work or any of the other practitioners doing this work. You read the book, you get started, you become inspired. This is something new, and you kind of go to it with the same attitude as maybe you did the last alternative remedy you tried, or the last medication protocol you tried, or the surgery that you had. You kind of go into it with that same mindset that, okay, now this is going to be the thing that heals me. And you have initial results. Most people will have initial results because the nervous system is simply trying to protect you with the pain, because it's diverting you from thinking about the repressed emotions that are threatening to rise. And if any of this feels confusing or new to you, go back and listen to my earlier podcast, because this is stuff we talk about all the time. And so if indeed your nervous system is in a sustained fight or flight and reacting to the panic of those repressed emotions rising, that's why chronic pain occurs, because the pain is seen as a lesser predator than the repressed emotions threatening to rise. So that's basic TMS knowledge. So the point of the matter is, originally, when you start doing this work, you will feel a cessation of symptoms if you are operating in full belief, if you're doing the work on a consistent basis, the way I teach, which is 20 minutes of journal speak followed by 10 minutes of loving kindness meditation. And if you're practicing patience and kindness for yourself, you are going to see results. But here's what happens what I would term relapse. What happens is you start doing this and you're not getting everything you want. So maybe one set of symptoms completely dies down, but now you have a lot of anxiety, or now you have a different set of symptoms. So if migraines were your problem, that's no longer bothering you, but now you have, some irritable bowel going on. And people start getting scared again. They let in the fear, because what they want is they want something to fix them. The way they felt when they went into the surgery, the way they felt when they started the new med, the way they felt when they went into the new alternative treatment. They want something to fix them. I want, we're all the same. We're just human. We're trying our friggin' best, and we want something to fix us. And when it doesn't feel easy, or when it feels like some symptom is replaced with another symptom, or when it feels like we're frustrated and now we're resistant and now we feel like, who needs the journal speak? Or, oh, it's so negative, I don't feel like doing it today. And the resistance becomes the symptom. So Dr. Sarno used to say, denial of the syndrome is part of the syndrome. What I'll say is resistance to the journal speak is part of the syndrome. It's all part of the nervous system trying to keep you safe from the feelings. And I know it's so counterintuitive and it kind of sounds stupid when you say it, but this is what is happening in your body 100%. I have seen it for so many years that it is not even slightly a doubt for me. This is what's happening. Okay, so this is what's happening and now it's hard. And what I deem relapse is when people feel like their symptoms are up, their pain is up, they're exasperated, they just don't want to do this anymore, and they're like, wait, great, this didn't work for me. Another thing, I'm a failure at something else, or now I'm really hopeless because I really thought this was going to work for me and it didn't. Whew, guys, listen to me. You will be so well served to shake that Etch-a-Sketch when it comes to your expectations and to understand that relapse is part of recovery, because recovery isn't getting out of something and having it never be again. I'm sorry. We were taught wrong. We were taught wrong. Somehow society has maybe it's because of the awesome advances in modern medicine that we've seen in the last 100 years. People used to be much more comfortable with discomfort back before there were all these modern medicine, solutions. And I guess that might be the reason why we've become a society that's so entitled. We feel like we deserve and we should feel well. And most of us don't feel well. Even people who don't understand that they have TMS or don't identify their symptoms as chronic. I have met with these people over the years. I've talked to them on the line, waiting to sign my kids into something or waiting to buy dinner. I've met people on the streets through my lifetime, waiting for a kid's class to be over, where you start talking to people and like everybody is suffering and everybody feels like it's totally unfair. And so when we enter into the space of healing that this is, we put all those same expectations on it. We say, I should be better. This should be working for me. Why am I in pain again? Why does this feel harder? Why was it great and now it's bad? That's what I would call relapse. And what I really, sometimes I'm doing this podcast and I'm like, Nicole, words don't explain it easily enough. So I never have a script for this. I just sit down and talk. So I'm trying my best to explain it. And here's what I'll say. A wise friend said to me the other day, expansion requires contraction. Scientifically. It expands and then it contracts, and then it can expand greater and then it must contract. Expansion requires contraction. This is a journey, guys. This is your life. You are not something to be fixed. You are already well. You just need to heal. So when you're walking this road of journal speak recovery from chronic pain and you feel like everything is ruined and everything was going well and now all of a sudden something triggered your fear, and when fear is up, chronic pain is up, because we all know chronic pain is an epidemic of fear. And now you're in relapse, which means everything was on the right trajectory and now it feels like it's on the wrong trajectory. Guys, this is the most important time to just breathe, recalibrate, and treat yourself with patience and kindness. Lay down the fear. The fear is not keeping you safe. There's nothing wrong with you. And of course, I'm not a medical doctor and I'm not in the room with you, so you're going to say, how do you know that nothing's wrong with me? But I can promise you, if your migraines are gone, but now you have irritable bowel, you don't need to go for a workup for irritable bowel. It's just a symptom imperative. It's just moving around. You're fine. Now, granted, I have to say this because I feel like I could get sued. If you feel like, something's terribly wrong with you, go get it checked out by a doctor. If you need to do that, go do it. But if you get a clean bill of health once again, which so many people write to me and they're like, no doctor can find anything wrong with me, then understand that all you have to do is keep doing the work. It took you 40 some odd years, 20 some odd years, even if it's only 1 year, to walk into the woods. You're not going to walk out again in a few weeks. Or a few months. There's no time on this that is a definite. But I'll promise you this. If you keep doing the work, if you lay down your fear, if you invite in the shared energy of humanity, of all the people out there. We're all just doing our best together. If you treat yourself with patience and kindness through this relapse time, you will be well. You will be better. You will contract, and then you will expand greater than you expanded before. And maybe at some point in the future, you'll contract again. This summer is a huge contraction for me. I might not be in pain, but I have this attitude about life that if I do the right thing and I'm a good person and I operate with goodwill toward the world, that I'll have good things happen to me. And dude, that is not always the case. And if you expect that, you're going to feel full of self-pity. And I think people in relapse tend to get, first of all, the first order is fear. Fear leads to doubt. And all of that leads to self-pity because you're like, woe is me, another thing didn't work for me. I am here to tell you, my sweet friend out there, this will work for you, but you have to power through when you are in a relapse state. When you're in a state where you feel like everything is going wrong, just love you, and treat you with kindness and do the work. Look at what you don't want to look at and journal it out. And if it makes you feel worse, say, that's okay, dear. The only way out is through. So no matter how crappy it feels, if you want to get out of this chronic situation, you have to keep walking. You just have to. Because this is the way out. I am sitting here holding a banner of twinkly lights saying, this is the way out. You might not see me yet because you might be really deep into that forest. It might have taken you a long time and it is not your fault. We live in a mind-body system and we don't know that. We aren't taught that when we're young. So we don't always know that as we stuff it down and people please and caretake and do things for other people and totally omit ourselves in the situation year after year after year, that we could be doing damage to ourselves. Or if we live in fear, right? If we allow our medical conditions or the things that doctors tell us there is no cure for to just sit with us and push us down into this fear space year after year after year, it takes a toll. You can still get out. I am telling you, you can still get out, but it might take a while, and it's going to rise, plateau, contract. Rise, plateau, contract. That's life. That's life. We're taught to expect something differently in this pop-up pill society. We really are. And when we come to peace and acceptance about the fact that this is just the way the journey looks, things get a lot easier. So okay, so let's talk a little bit about me holding the sparkly lights banner. So here's the thing about that. I don't want people to think that there is no recovery. I'm not saying that for the rest of your life you're going to have something chronic. What I'm saying is it might be hard right now. You might be in a expansion contraction that involves relapse, that involves pain. I get it, and I have been there, and I get it. But when I say I'm holding this sparkly banner, what I want to say is this. I have a very serious structural abnormality that I have absolutely no pain associated with. I have had every other symptom known to man flow through my body as I have worked with you guys over the years. I have taken on your pain. I'm super codependent when it comes to feeling other people's feelings. I'm empathic. It's fine. I have come to peace with that. I have no chronic pain at all. None. And so do many, many, many people with whom I have worked or who have written me over the years, who have read my book, have done my course, have been at something that I have taught or spoken at and let me know. So it's not that you are destined to have chronic pain for the rest of your life. Because, you'll always have human pain. I get a headache here and there, I'll get a stomach ache, blah, blah, blah. But I have no chronic pain. I have no chronic symptoms. There's nothing that I would need to go to a doctor about that's happening in my body over and over again. Except for normal things, I'm a normally healthy person. But what I'm saying is that's available to you 100%. It's available to you. You have to believe it. Wayne Dyer said, believe it, then you'll see it. It's the truth of the matter. You must believe it and you must do the work. And you must continue to believe it and continue doing the work even in a relapse state, because you have to understand that greater things are in store for you. It's all out there for you, kiddo. I'm telling you right now, it is out there for you. But if you get yourself sort of mired in this fear mindset, which is totally normal and I have empathy for it, but if you stay there, if you say, woe is me, this isn't working for me, or if you let the doubt win, then you're not gonna go backwards. You're just gonna sit still. And sitting still can be really uncomfortable when you're in any sort of a chronic symptom or pain. So the key is, when you're in a state of relapse, when you're in a state of contraction, when expansion doesn't seem definite because you can't see around the next bend, the key in those moments is action. To do the next right considered action. So if I wake up in the morning, let's say, for example, I'm a person who had, chronic hip problems and they were really going away, like it was really showing tremendous signs of recovery. And then I wake up one morning and the hip seems fine, and I go to bend down to pick up my kids' toys, and I feel like a pull through my lower back. And I'm like, great, now I'm going to have back problems. And I get all into fear, and I get all into meaning, and all that same stuff that used to come up around my hip starts flooding into me. That's relapse. Here's the way I can get out of that right quick. Stop right there. Sit down. Do something kind for yourself. And if you happen to be coming to Omega with me, we're going to do a lot of work on what it means to actually practice self-compassion, because it's actually a practice. And once I'm done with Omega and I've taught that stuff, I will come back to the podcast and do a whole podcast on it, or more than one. But, doing at that moment, stop what you're doing, practice self-compassion, center yourself in the moment and in the truth that expansion requires contraction. Recovery is not a straight line. We are walking concentric circles up the mountain. You're still better off than when you had your hip pain and you were totally lost and you didn't know what to do and you had no solutions except for surgery that didn't work or that you didn't want. So here you are, and be kind and say, I see that my nervous system is confused. The hip pain started to wane, but I still have a lot of stuff going on in my life, and I still have a lot of stuff I need to journal speak about my past and about my personality. So it's come up in my back today. I see. Well, that's interesting. How can I be kind to myself right now? What do I need to do for myself today in an action form? Because you might not feel better today. Okay, your feelings might feel crap today, but what can I do in an action form? Okay, here's what I can do. I can do my 20 minutes of journal speak. I might have to white knuckle it through, pop a couple Advil, do what I need to do, get a warm compress, cold compress, what have you. Whatever you want to do to be kind to yourself that day. But don't give it meaning, and don't say I'm broken and I'm ruined. But do the work. Do your journal speak, meditate, breathe, ask for help. Ask your partner, ask your friend, ask your mother, ask your kid. I need help today. I need a little extra help today, guys. I'm on this journey. I'm going through it. I'm going to be fine. I have total peace in my heart. I'm going to be fine, but today hurts. So I'm all right, but we're going to just walk through this. It's all right. If you treat yourself like that, you're going to be astonished at how quickly the body relaxes. You're like a big contracted muscle. You need to relax. But fear adds to the contraction. And so I really encourage you to stick with action. One of the things that I was asked about on the Instagram post was, how do you unlearn fear? And what I wrote was on the post, life is a behavior modification program. You can't think your way to better feelings. You must act your way. That's what Journal Speak is for. So when fear is present, fear is powerful. So you're not going to be able to reason your way out of fear. You're not going to be able to be like, nope, I'm fine. Nope, it's all good. No, you will have to act. So let's say I am that person. My hip pain has gone down, but now I've felt like I wrenched out my back. I'm scared. What does this mean? Now I'm going to have back problems. I'm tempted to go and get another MRI. Breathe. Sit down and do your journal speak. Something's definitely going on right now that back decided to pull this morning. I have a lot of parents that tell me reaching down for toys has been a biggie. Why? Because kids make you furious. Kids make you terrified. Kids make you sad and embarrassed and ashamed and regretful and all those icky feelings that you don't want to feel because they're not convenient. And so picking up a toy could be enough to trigger all that. It's all unconscious anyway. I mean, you're conscious of some level of your frustration with your kids, but not a lot of it you push down because it's not adaptive to feel everything every moment of the day, or else you probably wouldn't be able to parent them. So picking up that toy, so if I was that person, maybe in that journal speak session, I'd be talking about my frustrations with parenting or my frustrations with my own body. Maybe I haven't taken off the baby weight yet, or my frustrations with money because I'm terrified that we're not going to have enough to send the kid to private nursery school, whatever, whatever it is for that person in that day, journal speak it out. You still might not feel better. Meditate for 10 minutes. If you cannot think of anything else to meditate on, just say, I love you, keep going. I love you. Keep going. Keep going, kid. I love you. Be the person you needed when you were little. Reparent yourself. Be the parent that you needed when you were little and scared and sad. You've got it in there to do this for yourself. And so you're going to do that action. You're going to be kind to yourself. Like I said, ask for help. Have somebody, take over cooking dinner that night, or call out of work that day if you need to, or whatever you need to do for yourself, and just keep going. I'm going to tell you that a person in that situation, probably their back would feel better within a couple of days. And if it doesn't, it's because they're not setting their fear aside. The only way to adequately set your fear aside is to do the actions and to let your body be your proof. Because you're not going to feel less scared if your back keeps ramping up. You're going to feel less scared if your back starts ramping down. And that happens through action. So I want to encourage you that fear and the meaning we give our pain is toxic. And the only way to get out of that is to keep in good direction, the good orderly direction of action. So I hope that helps. I hope that helps with relapse. Let me just quickly, I'm looking at my phone right now. So I'm looking at a couple of the other Instagram questions. When pain changes and you worry, it's structural. Well, this kind of goes back to what I just said, and what I wrote on my page is, if emotional work changes your pain, it can't be structural. Just keep swimming, my dear. You will get more confident all the time. So it's sort of the same message, which is, if you had migraines and now you have irritable bowel and you're worried that now you have some serious biological structural problem with your stomach that now you need an elimination diet or something. I mean, if you think about it logically, that doesn't make sense. Because if stress is causing this, if repressed emotions are causing this, and migraines and stomach are obviously not the same structure in your body, it's not structural. It's just your poor, confused, exhausted nervous system saying, oh shit, where else can we protect her? The migraines aren't working anymore. She believes that she doesn't need to have them. How about the stomach? That'll do it. It's not a mean-spirited thing. It's just it's trying to adapt to the situation, and you need to continue to direct it out of the woods where I am standing holding that glittering, beautiful, not cheesy banner that says, hey guys, it's so nice over here. It's so peaceful over here. Come join me. All right, let's see what else I have on Instagram. Letting go of expectations, how to stop striving and just let healing happen. Once again, I'm going to have to go back to action, because if you're the kind of person that stresses out and you're a type A and you just want to, be there, be done, which a lot of us are, it's hard to not be that person that has expectations and keeps striving. So what I wrote to that person, and I'm still agreeing with myself as of yesterday, thank God, I hear you. Sometimes you just need to do left foot, right foot, breathe. If you keep walking, you will see more and more light. It's true, guys. It is totally true. Okay, I'm going to answer one more question, and then we're going to wrap this up. Got to get ready for Omega. Yay. Okay. How to push through the fear when doctors say there is no cure. This was my favorite question. So if you're out there, gold star, favorite question of the week. And I wrote, I have worked with hundreds of people over the years that are chronic symptom free, and we're all told there is no cure. So please, guys, please, if you can't be inspired today in your own life by your own journey in recovery, if you don't have it yet to be inspired by me and be inspired by the thousands, and if you count Dr. Sarno's work, millions of people that this work has touched that are no longer ill after doctor told them there was no cure for what they had. It is available to you. It has been available to me. And if you do the work, you will see results. And even if you're in relapse, just keep going. As Dory says, just keep swimming. She's my favorite. All right, guys, sending you a lot of love. Next week, I will be at Omega. I'm bringing my microphone and my podcast setup, and we're going to do some sort of a live podcast situation while we're there, because if we don't, I won't be able to post one on Friday, so something's going to happen, and I'm sure it'll be great. And until then, let's see, please go over to iTunes and rate and review the podcast. It means so much to me to hear that you guys are healing and what you think. And if you don't feel like taking the time to actually write something, just click a however many star review and let us know that you're listening to the podcast. Follow me on Instagram at NJSachs. Lots of great information there. And check out my work if you want to learn more at thecureforchronicpain.com. All right, lots of love. Next week at Omega. See you guys. Bye.